Hello, and welcome to Get Celebritized. I'm Aurea McGarry, your host, and I'm so excited tonight to bring you some powerhouse women. These women are going to inspire you to make your dreams come true, and their stories are big. Their stories are huge, but even more importantly, what they do for other women is even bigger. So I am so honored that these two women decided to join me this evening to tell you their story and to dig into their success. Because on Get Celebritized, I like to bring to you all the stories so you can learn how to earn more, so you can live more, and so you can give back more. With that, they're going to dig into some nuts and bolts about, did they ever fall on their face? Did they ever fail forward to success? Did they have a silver spoon in their mouth the whole time and nothing ever went wrong? Well, I haven't found that guest yet, but if I do, I promise I'll bring that person on. But meanwhile, we all learn from our good days and our bad days, our successes, our failures, but we're going to dig deep so you all can learn some really neat ways and ideas that could take you to the next level. And we all need that together to share those ideas. So my very, very first guest tonight is none other than Jennifer Aks. Oh, I hope I didn't butcher her name. And she's a dear friend of mine, Newman. So Jennifer Aks-Neuman, she's a short story producer, video editor, a movement coach, photographer, and choreographer. But I have to tell you, she is so much more than that. Her gift and her talent for telling your story is absolutely a gift from God. It is special. She is, to me, the Steven Spielberg of telling women's stories. And I kid you not, when you're done listening or watching this show, you need to go to her website and see what she's done. You might be the next woman she tells your story about. So without any further ado, let me bring up this amazing woman, Jenn. Here she comes. Jenn, welcome to the show.
Hi, Aurea. Oh my God, the Steven Spielberg of.
Yes.
I mean, I don't even. You got me at Steven Spielberg.
You are. When they get a chance to see your work in action, they're going to say, oh my gosh, Aurea was right. Because the way you do this, I've never seen before. And I encourage everybody to go to herstories.org to see how you take these stories and they're an art. They're art in motion, because we're not just there. Now, you're going to be telling mine. I'm so excited, but I want to give you the microphone. But I was just setting the stage so people know to tap into you. Because when we first met, you said, can we Zoom so I can show you this? I'm like, okay, sure, let's Zoom. And when I saw it, I was like, wow, you're not kidding. Words do not do it justice. So, Jenn, welcome to the show. Let's talk about who you are so we can get to where you are now and how you can help other women tell their stories. Because we know stories are what sell.
Thank you, Aurea. Thank you so much. Stories and vulnerability is really where we meet, is really where healing takes place. Expression and connection. So much takes place inside of our stories. And then you combine that with being vulnerable. That's all we really need. We just want authenticity. We want to see people. We want to hear people. We want to witness people in the most raw and real way. And when you said that words aren't everything, that's the key for me personally. My journey goes back to when I was a child. I really struggled in school. I struggled academically. I was one of those kids that I get it and then I wouldn't get it. And kind of everything was going over my head. I wasn't a traditional learner. And I didn't realize that. I didn't realize what was happening until later. So for many, many years, I was very insecure about my expression, about how I learned. And then when I got much older, into my 20s, I really wanted to understand. And so I met two women that really changed my life. And they introduced to me these all different forms of intelligence, all different forms of expression. And Howard Gardner and his whole layout of 12 different forms of intelligence. And I learned in my 20s that I'm a kinesthetic learner. I have kinesthetic intelligence. I'm a visual learner. I'm a mover. I need things to be laid out. I need to express. I need to gesture. Things need to kind of be moving in my life. It can't just be the written word on paper. So I relearned my entire education in about 5 years because I was in my late 20s. And what I learned from that experience, I learned visually. And I learned that we can express ourselves in many different ways. We can learn in many different ways. Fast forward, I was working for a nonprofit organization empowering children to learn curriculum through the arts, through dance, through movement, through music.
Love that.
And I was like, oh my God, like if I only had that growing up, so it resonated, you can imagine.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure it resonates with a lot of people, even me. Wow, I wish I'd known you back then, because that's why my whole family were all that type of learner. Make it interesting. That's why you always feel guilty. Oh, I really wait till it comes out in the movie instead of read the book, and they make you feel like, oh, you're not as smart as everybody else, but that's the way it sticks in my brain, sticks in my spirit.
There's a reason why they have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. They have songs, ISSIPPI, to learn how to say Mississippi. Like, there are reasons why, but no one really talks about that.
No.
The traditional mindset is so prevalent in our society, and it really hurts people because it doesn't allow them to express and learn in the natural ways that they were born to. I was very lucky to find these two women that really helped turn around my mindset. And all of a sudden I got comfortable in my silence. I got comfortable in the way I process and learn and express. But I say this all because when I was teaching children curriculum through an artistic lens, I was like, this is just, it was everything to me. Pandemic hits and the schools got shut down and I couldn't reach the children anymore. So the next demographic that I love are women.
So you couldn't do it through Zoom? Because I feel so bad for the kids, because I just always felt that there was more to education than reading, writing, arithmetic, sitting down. I always looked in kind of Montessori stuff too, because they don't all learn like that. And we need more people like this woman you're talking about. So don't stop. Can anybody keep going through Zoom?
Oh, absolutely. The programming kept going, but it did shut down for a while.
For a little while.
And when it shut down, that's when I really got into my editing. And that was sort of the transition into now curating women's stories and bringing them to life through an artistic lens. So I mention all of that because it was a huge passion and it definitely was a stepping stone to where I got. But because of the transitional moment with the pandemic and a moment to just breathe and say, what am I going to do now? Because everything was sort of on pause. I put my energy into women. And what I love about these stories is that I feel like it connects to my entire past and what I struggled with, but what I now feel empowered by, which is different forms of expression. We all have a story, but we can express it through the spoken word, through movement, through art, through painting, through gardening, through cooking, whatever it is. So the platform, as you know, with Her Stories is about let me hear your story and how can we express it with various forms of movement and art.
Jenna, there's two things here going on. One, I want to know more about that aha moment, because many people now are still struggling to pivot. That word that we've had to use so many times since 2020, and some have been successful and others are still struggling. They haven't found that niche, that aha, where they really belong, with maybe they don't have their same career anymore. They don't have their niche anymore. Everything changed. I know my world changed because I was all about live events. I was an event MC. I hosted large events for myself. And that was my big bulk of my year, my big Live Your Legacy Summit. I was a red carpet interview, a TV show host. Everything about what I did to earn a living shut down. And it's still struggling to come back. Events are still struggling to come back. They're not back yet. So for those people, those of us that may still be struggling, oh, I need that aha moment. I haven't transitioned like you did. Give us some nuts and bolts on what was that aha moment like? Because you went from teaching kids to, oh, let me do this with women. But again, they've got to see what you do, because it's not you just started teaching women how to get educated in the way you do. You start telling their stories in a way I have never seen before. And I'm huge in the arts and movies and theater and Broadway. I was brought up in New York City. I've seen a lot of artistic talent. And what you've done, people, I am not exaggerating. When you're watching these women, they're not actors, they're not dancers, they're women with a story. And the way they're moving in a chair or whatever, they're moving in a kitchen, you have them choreographed so spot on. When they say this and that movement, Sometimes they're only moving from the top up.
Right.
Sometimes it's only their hands moving. It
Right.
is absolutely brilliant. I have to stop bragging about you because I could go on all night. But how did that go from you teaching kids to that and what you're doing now? Because it is incredible what you do now. It's nothing I could have ever, anybody could just think of.
Oh my gosh, Aurea,
I'm
I
so
don't
not.
even, I want to go on and on about you, but I know our time is limited.
Yeah, no, this is
So,
about you, my friend. Yes.
so I want to say that what saved me in my life was movement. Movement has always been my language. It's always been what has helped me feel comfortable in the world, right? Knowing my body, feeling connected to my body, and the power of gesture, just simply moving my hand. I'm very expressive with my hands. So I say that because this was a natural sort of progression for me. Movement has always been a part of my life, whether it's been dance or whether it's been yoga or whether it's been hiking, biking, gardening, whatever it is, movement is always a big part of my life. So when I saw the children, when I worked with the children and the smiles on their face when they were seen and heard in a nonverbal way through movement, and I empowered them and uplifted them. I worked for an organization that did it. I knew that that was my sole purpose. I knew that I had to continue to empower in whatever way possible. So when that pandemic hit, it wasn't like, okay, I'm going to make a pivot. I just listened to my voice. I mean, I really listened. You ask what the nuts and bolts are and like, how did that happen? And I think what happened for me is I just trusted myself. I trusted where my intuition was taking me. I knew I couldn't be with the children anymore, but I knew that I loved to move. I knew that I loved to empower. I knew that I loved to edit and choreograph and connect with women and with human beings in general. So I literally just thought, okay, we're in this virtual space. How can I create connection? How can I create something that involves movement, something that involves honoring how we feel in this pandemic, this fear, this anger, this frustration, this sadness? How can I bring that all together? So I asked 8 women that I know to come on a Zoom call with me, have these conversations, create gestures with their hands that represent how they were feeling. I love to edit. So I took our conversation, I edited it all together. I asked them to create extra footage that supported the story. They did that. And, so it was like this, I just followed every passion that I have. It like all stacked up next to each other. I can't say that I woke up and I said, I have a new idea and this is what I'm going to do. I literally just followed the voice that was inside of me and I trusted it.
You definitely have a gift. And I like what you said, that you trusted your voice. We all have that inner voice.
Yes.
And whether you believe in God or whether it's your inner voice, whatever it is, that you're supposed to be doing something. Same thing happened when I started my TV show. It's like, I didn't know exactly how I was going to do it, but I had the acting experience, never produced before, but I wanted to tell good stories. And that was the way I knew how to do it, TV. And when it's right, it's right. And you don't know what's going to happen a month or a year down the road.
Right.
And you just did the most amazing thing. So that's good. So listen to your inner voice. Whoever's watching or listening to this, they may not be the dancer, the movement, there, whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you're feeling your gift is to the world, tap into that. And now you took that and monetize it. So that's the second half of this question, because people here want to know, again, okay, I've got this passion. I love to garden. I love to cook. I love whatever. Well, can you monetize it? And how did you monetize this? So now you can do this full time.
Yeah, that's such a great question. So it's interesting because I met with someone recently who said, now remember, I've only been doing this since 2020. It was about September of 2020. So it's been like 16, 17 months, right?
Wow.
And in that time frame, I've done 65 stories.
Oh my gosh.
And I met and it wasn't about the money at first.
Sure.
It was like, for me, it was like, I'm going to do as many stories as possible. And I'm going to use this year to learn. I want to learn if this is something special. I want to learn if this is a need. I want to learn if I can solve something for someone. I want to learn if the world needs this. And that's how I framed it for myself for the first year. So within that year, I played around with different payment structures and all kinds of things. I worked with women that didn't have resources, but wanted to tell their story. So I decided at the end of it was coming up to my year, I landed on a price that I felt comfortable with. But I also felt slightly unsettled because there's a lot of women that I'm telling stories for and that I can tell stories for that do not have the resources, but there is no way I'm not going to do their story. So I aligned with a fiscal sponsor and I became a nonprofit. So I have a foundation, the Her Stories Foundation, and I have the LLC. So women that can afford to pay for it, and part of the money goes to the foundation. So the foundation they kind of filter each other.
Love
and then
that.
I also have this virtual gallery where I feature 3 women and their stories, and there's a musical component, and it's really beautiful. And one day I'm going to have a virtual experience, but we're also going to be in person. It's going to be a hybrid. I can just see it.
One thing, I see you on Broadway. This should so be a Broadway show. And I so see you in the metaverse. I'm just learning about the metaverse. I mean, just this is going to be so amazing. And you just now, my new best friend in this, because you have an LLC and a nonprofit. And nonprofits are my favorite people in the whole world. You know that, because you're giving back. So on that note, I love to be a nonprofit auctioneer. I love to raise money for nonprofits, especially those that are run by women. So I see it's herstories.org. How can people, or can they, donate to sponsor a woman's story? Tell us about how they can get involved and either, 1, get a hold of you if they want to see if their story could be told, and 2, if they want to donate to the cause and sponsor other women's stories to be told. Because it's still reasonable. It's not, we don't have to go over the price now. They can call you, but it's definitely a reasonable, nice, comfortable price. It's not for just the wealthy. Certainly anybody could either find the resource or get a sponsor simply for this. So tell us how we can help.
Absolutely. Thank you, Aurea. So on my website, if you go to www.herstories.org, and there's a donate button. So you can go to the donate right at the top, and it takes you right there. There are options. You can donate $3 a month, $10 a month. There's a few different options. There are one-time payment. You can do that. I'm also looking for sponsors for my next event. Going forward, all of my virtual galleries are going to be tied to my nonprofit. So the ticket payment will all go to the nonprofit, and I want to get sponsors to help me because I want this platform, I want this virtual gallery to grow. It's one thing to do a story for a woman, and then I just know that that's not enough. It lives on because stories heal, they teach, they educate, they deepen compassion. So I need to expand the platform. So the virtual galleries help me do that. Plus, I want to be on other people's galleries and communities and bring these women to them as well. But in terms of the foundation, at my website, the donate section, and then come to the virtual gallery, donate there, be a sponsor. Please, please, please get involved.
So that'll always be on your website. So whenever anybody's listening to this podcast or watching this show in replay, just go to the website. The current, the next, the upcoming events will be listed there. So that way this will be evergreen. All right, now the third part of the question, how it relates to, okay, a woman's got a story. For her to step out of her comfort zone and tell these raw, vulnerable stories, what is in it for her? Like, does this help her brand? Does this help her business? Besides just telling the story and saying, I want to help others, we all want to help others. Is there another component to the woman who tells a story that catapults her brand awareness or monetization in that way? Because I still always like to help women earn more as the first part, so they can live more and then give back more, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, I just believe, and I know so many of us do, and certainly many that are watching, authenticity is everything. And being vulnerable in your authenticity, they go hand in hand. So to me, as a business owner, if I had a product or something else outside of this, and I wanted my community to get to know me a little bit more in a different way, in a really unique way, this is what I would do. This is very different than writing the story, which is beautiful. It's very different than having photos and a collage. All of that is beautiful. Everything that everyone does is beautiful. This is just a different way to do it. It's very, very unique. So to me, it brings in a business owner's community. It gives them like a really, they can kind of go into their soul and see their journey and understand how they got there in a very unique way. So, and these videos are very short. They're like 2 to 5 minutes long. So it depends on the length of the song and what we decide to do together.
What is do you have a particular story in mind? I don't have to say the name, or you can. It's totally up to you and your privacy laws. But do you have a particular story that really resonates, that would be cool for you to share with us, to show us how that journey works, or what happens, or something amazing that happened because of the story that was shown, or during the story, or any kind of healing process? Maybe a woman that thought she was going to tell her story, but it ended up being very emotionally important to her, and maybe got some, ahas and revelations of her own that she mentally needed, because nowadays we know more than ever that this our mental health is another issue. Everybody trying to come out of this quarantine, and some are making it and some are still struggling. And I think every single person on the planet has been affected mentally somehow, whether it's a little or a lot, by this pandemic, whether it's a loss of a loved one, whether it's being shut in, whether it's fear. So any really cool story about anyone in particular that you remember that's touched your heart in a special way?
I have to tell you, there's so many.
So many?
I can't even, 65 of them.
I know.
65 of them, because what happens is, and I'll give you a specific, but there are every woman, every time, comes into their power in a new way, a new light, a new perspective. It is a phenomenal process. It blows my mind every time. And every time there's healing and understanding and learning about themselves, because you're holding up a mirror looking at yourself. Okay. So there's a lot, Aurea. It's very hard for me to choose, but I'm thinking about one woman in particular who I met at a retreat in October in person, and all my stuff is virtual, but I also do them in person. I just haven't had a big opportunity. I've done about a handful. So I met her at this retreat. We were sitting across from each other in a circle, and everyone was talking about part of their life and part that needed to be healed. Unfortunately, very sadly, her son was shot and killed at 17 years old, and her daughter died of SIDS at 5. So I'm listening to her story, and I'm across the circle from her, and my heart is literally like aching for her, mainly because, not just because of her story, but really what got me is that she said, I've gone dark. Like, there's no light. I don't see the brightness anymore. And so I am aching listening to her, because all I want to do is say, give me an hour. Just give me some time. So that's what I did. Afterwards, I went over to her and I said, I know you don't know me. This is what I do. And I have a process. And if you're willing to just go there and take a risk, I'd love to set up a session with you, because that's what I did throughout the weekend. I met with women at different times. Okay. So she said, great. We really connected. And I did my whole process with her. We met, we talked about her story. We walked around the property, and I took extra video of her doing different things, because embodying her story in an emotional and beautiful way. But we go through the journey and the process that I have. After the retreat, I put everything together. I put the music in. I met with her virtually, because I had to edit after the retreat. I met her about a week or two later. And she just said, you opened you parted the darkness. Like, I have light coming in. I am beautiful. There is joy. The title is Rooted in Joy. She titled it. And to me, I helped a little bit, I helped her just peek into that bright light again, to that possibility, to that life that she still has to live. And we have a beautiful relationship. I'm completely in love. I love this woman so much. And I helped her. You did? I helped her. I helped her open up her heart and find the light again. It really...
You're like a therapist. I mean, this is like a therapy session. This is amazing. It's like their own little mini retreat to come out of their shell and talk about something maybe painful. Yeah. So that's so fun. So amazing you can do that. On a higher note, like a happier note, do you ever do some that I've seen some? I've not seen all 65, but that's my goal, to see all 65, because I love these stories. And there is somebody you need to know that I know that was in my TEDx speech that I think you need to tell her story. because she lost her son in the Newtown, Connecticut shooting, and she found light after that tragedy, and she's still spreading joy. And I just think she'd be amazing. She still believes there's love in this world and humanity in this world after that. So I just love here. These are my heroes.
Yeah.
I just totally lost my train of thought.
You said on a higher level.
On a higher note, are there any people that come to you and with a really happy story? Like it's uplifting, it's not tragic, it's not tragedy to triumph. It's a triumphant story. Is there anything like that?
Yes, there are definitely celebratory. There are a lot of women that want to process and go through something. Mm-hmm. There are some, and I'm thinking of one in particular. She just moved and grooved through her whole story. She's a 65-year-old woman, just full of life, has had a lot that she has dealt with. But the spirit of her story is light and bright and moving and with high energy. And it's really, really quite amazing. Yeah.
I'm so excited to do mine. I can't believe you and I are going to talk tomorrow about step one of telling my story. And I really want it to be fun and uplifting because, I had the TEDx talk and it was serious. It was legacy, but I am such a happy person. I mean, I just, pink is my color. Joy is my emotion. And through it all, friends and people and animals have made such a difference in my life that there's times to be sad, but there's so much more happiness in this world. So I'm so excited. I have no idea what you're going to put me through tomorrow, but it's going to be so fun to go through the journey. And then, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry. We're going to have her back on after I experience this myself, and we'll walk you through some of it. And maybe I can, figure out the technology that be so we can show it and maybe, show you some snippets of it, let you hear some snippets on the podcast. So with that, is there anybody in particular? Go ahead, Jennifer. Do you want to ask me a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that it's interesting your point about like the joy and is there anyone that hasn't gone through from the tragedy to the triumph or the adversity to the triumph? And the truth is the joy that's in there, that's in every single story is the celebration of resiliency. There is a celebratory component of every single story because there's resiliency and there's reflection and understanding of like their power and their possibilities. So it's a different thing. It may not be this woohoo, dance party, but it's like this very deep and raw celebration of a woman's journey and what she has gone through and all that she is. So it takes a little bit of a different tone, but there's a celebration in all of them.
It's art. It's really, I'm so glad you're doing these galleries because that's exactly what this is. You're creating these art pieces. And we're going to get into close. We've got a few more minutes left. And I could talk to you forever, but we're going to have you back. So don't worry. And, my whole theme and everything that I do, what I do with my TEDx speech, talk with my Live Your Legacy Summit. It's all about legacy. And if nothing else, I wish, like every mother could have done this and left this to their children because they're going to see a side of you that's part of your legacy, whether and you're going to pass this down generation after generation. Imagine if we had this of our grandmothers and our great grandmothers, that we had these beautiful moments in time of what they were feeling. And you bring out such joy in all of them. They really are joyful. Even in the pain, I see the joy. And I cannot verbalize this enough. Please go watch it. I'm putting this back up here. herstories.org for those listening. herstories.org in case you're listening. You will not be sorry for watching these. They are magnificent pieces of art. And if you want your story told, get with Jenn, go to herstories.org, connect with her. So I'm going to be quiet for a minute. Jenn, tell everyone if they're thinking about giving this as a gift to their mother, to their grandmother, to their daughter, or if they're thinking, I wonder if my story could be told. How do they get a hold of you? And what is the first best step? Is it a free call? Tell us a few of those little details because we will have you back. But I want them to be able to get a hold of you tonight. Or today.
Thank you. Yeah. So you go to the website and there's a contact page and there's a drop down box of how do you want to get involved? Do you want to volunteer? Do you want to tell your story? Do you want to celebrate a woman? Because that's another way to get involved, which is also amazing. Celebrate someone that you love in your life. And there's no video involved. That's just written and it goes into my newsletter. And my email is right there. Yeah, that's really fun, Aurea. That's just about, it's a form for women to just feel it. Oh, the nurse or the crossing guard or my aunt or my grandmother, they're doing beautiful things that someone like you would do a little write-up, and I just put that into my newsletter. Yeah.
Well, when you say that, can we also do, is there a possibility to do something in memory of somebody we've lost and do a picture collage with music and have that to hand down to our daughters and our granddaughters?
That's beautiful.
That would be cool. I mean, my mom was so special to me, but she's long passed away from cancer when she was 59. And I am who I am because of my mother. I see my mother in both my daughters, and we talk about her all the time, but she's not here anymore. And there was no video back then. It's all would be pictures and maybe a letter. So we have to talk about something like that, because that would be a gift I'd love to give to my daughters, like maybe for next Christmas. Here's something from your grandmother.
I have an idea, but we'll talk about it tomorrow.
All right. I'm so thankful that you were here.
Your mother. Yeah.
Oh, yay. Jenn, you are amazing. You will be back. We're not done with you. And I'm so glad you were here. Jenn, in 30 seconds, tell us something that you want us to know. Give us your thought right now to inspire us.
I would say that if you're thinking, I want to do my story, but do I have a story? Everybody has a story. Everyone has a story, whether you want to share your story on my platform or in another way. What I want to say to you is share your story, write it, sing it, tell it, call me, whatever you need to do, because this is how we heal. This is how we connect. There is so much power in your story. So do it in whatever way feels right to you, but just do it and share it.
Well said, Jenn. Well said. Well, Jenn, we'll see you again soon. Get a hold of Jenn. Look at herstories.org. You will be touched. You will never be the same. And I'm just so glad you were here. Thank you, Jenn, so much. Bye for now. Thank you.
Bye, Aurea. Thank you.
You're welcome. You'll be back. Okay, I hope you enjoyed Jenn with her wonderful inspiration of hope with these stories. She's absolutely amazing, and she will be back. Speaking of being back, I'll be right back now, too. We're going to start another segment. Okay, welcome to Get Celebritized. We are now bringing on an amazing woman, too. I just am so fortunate that I am able to be surrounded by amazing and powerful women that empower other women. I mean, who'd have thunk it? That women, there's no cat fights going on in the world of entrepreneurs of women. We're all lifting each other up like never before. And this woman is leading the pack in lifting up other women as well. I met her and I met Jenn on Clubhouse. Y'all may never have heard of the app Clubhouse, but that's where I'm meeting some of the most amazing people and getting to know their stories. And the next person, the woman I have on coming up now, is Anna Sinclair. Anna Sinclair is a serial entrepreneur, community builder, investor, agency owner. She sings too, and is the founder and CEO of a media brand. This is what I love. You ready for this, mompreneurs? I've been a mompreneur for 36 years now. She has Total Mom Inc. The Total Mom business community has an annual reach of 17 million in Canada and the US, and supports ambitious working moms through a community of 20,000 plus moms across the channels and lists, making it known as one of the fastest growing online business communities for mom entrepreneurs, or what I like to call them, mompreneurs. Let's bring up the fabulous, the dynamic, the world-changing for mompreneurs, Anna Sinclair. Welcome to Get Celebritized.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, beautiful. It's
Thank you.
fun to see you. We talk to each other all the time. We talk on the audio apps, and here we are in person as best we get, from you being where you are in Canada. And
Yes.
So glad you're here. Where are you from in Canada?
So I'm in Blue Mountain. It's 2 hours north of Toronto. It's for the people who kind of want the nature style, like near the ski mountain. And we have a lot of hiking trails here, and it's about 80% entrepreneurs and wellness lovers. So
Really?
it's the right place for me.
I'm coming to visit you. It sounds wonderful. And
Yeah,
I love
it's
nature.
beautiful.
Oh, fun.
Absolutely
Well,
beautiful.
you are just, I've only met you just maybe a couple of weeks ago, and I keep learning more and more about you as you talk on the audio app. And you've just done so much. You know, most people think, oh, Ray, your life, you've been so many done so many things, survived so much. And then I listen to you, and it's like, us women, we all go through a lot of stuff. We just don't always talk about all of it. So Anna, start first, tell us where you are right now, because I want them to know about your success right now, because you've got some great successes. Then we'll backtrack a little bit about how you got there, what made you do this, because you do a lot of amazing things for women, but you're also in media and singing and entertainment. You're very, eclectic, and I love that. So
Thank you.
I yield the mic to you, as we say on Clubhouse.
Well, thank you so much for having me on your show. It's actually been quite a pleasure to meet you. When we met on Clubhouse, it kind of instantly clicked with you. I could tell we were the same people, soul family, so to speak. And I loved how you were a mompreneur and you have been a mompreneur forever. And we kind of had that in common right away. And so when we first met, I kind of told you a little bit about what I do. I told you that, I own and operate a company called Total Mom Inc. So we are a social enterprise. We're also a media brand. And we support moms personally and professionally. And this really started out as, it really was an events company at first. Like we started out as a holistic festival for moms. And the way that it all happened was really kind of crazy. I became a new mom, and this was kind of one of the things that I didn't know was going to happen. It was a big surprise. I had got signed to Universal. I was a pop artist. I did my music for about 4.5 years, performed, toured, got considered for a Juno here in Canada. And I just didn't see it coming. I didn't see that I was going to get pregnant. And it was just like this big surprise. And my husband and I, we were like in the 4th or 5th year of my music career, and he was actually my personal manager at the time. So he went everywhere with me.
Oh, how
And we
fun.
were
How
like,
fun.
oh my God, it's happening. And he was just like my rock. Like literally the only reason I got through the entertainment business was because of my angelic husband, who was always so understanding
I love that.
and such a rock. Like he was like, can I get the pizza? Do you want me to pick someone up? And he was just so kind. And Brandon got he just like got along with everybody. And so it always brought this positive energy. And so I felt like I had a very positive career because my personal and professional life was in a really good vibration. And so
you were a singer, right? So this was your singing career. It's so
Yeah.
great that you went from pop, for being a singer. And I want to really kind of lay this out for the listeners and the viewers to right now. You are one of the top 100 most powerful women in Canada. Women of Influence has named you the top 50 influential women leaders and businesswoman of the month by Canadian standards up there, and soon to be, of course, America. So you've gone from this. I want to give women hope, because sometimes they think if their music career doesn't take off or they leave for whatever reasons to have a family, that, oh, well, life's over. And you have flipped this on its head. So keep going. It's exciting.
Big time. No, you're so right. It was like, I'm not going to say it was an accident, because it wasn't. This is totally my path. I know I'm supposed to be here. So where do I begin? I was in the US. I was about to sign a US record deal, which would have been the turning point of where my entertainment career was going. And at first I thought I was like nervous, but it turned out that I was like seriously pregnant. And so
seriously, not
having a baby. Not at the time, but I was going to. And I came home, and obviously the deal was off, and my husband and I were over the moon. Like we were like, what career, whatever. Like we were so excited.
Can't be a pregnant pop star?
Not at the time. Not at the time. It's cool in country now. Now it's like, oh my God, you're pregnant. Let's get the front cover. But at that time, it was like, you're young, you're pop. We don't want to do a music video with you pregnant. Not only did I do a music video pregnant, but I got Justin Bieber's people to literally let me license the song I'll Show You, just to show the music business that I'll show you that I can do it. And I filmed the hottest music video of Lifetime in like this bathtub with like diamonds and like really black smoky eyeliner. And I dyed my hair blonde, and I just went all out. Like I was like, I'm going to leave with a big bang. I'm going to do my last hurrah.
Is it up on YouTube? We've got to put that up.
It is. Yes. Oh, yes, it is.
How do you find it? We've got to look up Anna Sinclair in the bathtub.
Sure. Well, it would be Anastasia A Music. I'll Show You cover. Yeah.
I'll Show You cover. Anastasia? Is that your full name?
Anastasia A was my artist name.
Okay, cool. Oh, yeah. Get the goods. She's pulling something off the shelf.
Guys, we are good.
We're good.
We also hit the
things off the wall for those listening to podcast.
Well, we just hit the crystal, so you all got healing for free.
Yay, perfect. And this is your album cover? Okay, she's showing us her album cover.
Yeah,
what's the name of it? I'll show you.
It was called Something Inside You. And,
okay.
Yeah. So
look at that. How fun. Good for you.
I mean, that was my passion, inspiring people through pop music and using my voice. And I was so excited to continue that, but then I got excited to have a baby. So I just thought, okay, let's do this thing. And anyways, long story short, we definitely just was like, let's just embrace it. I go to a baby show. I don't know if you guys have this in the States, but they're essentially those trade shows where
trade shows. Yeah.
So I went to a baby show here in Canada, and I came back from this show and I had all of this stuff. I had like tons of bags full of
samples.
Yeah, the samples, the stuff. And I dump it all. And like, I got a lot of free stuff from different brands because I was kind of doing blogging and influencing. And usually that would get me super excited. And I'd be like, ha ha ha, like I got all this cool stuff and I can't wait to open it. But that day was different. I looked at the stuff and I said, this is all baby stuff. And I know that sounds silly, but it actually was a turning point to the beginning of what I'm building today and what has come of Total Mom Inc. is I realized that I myself as a mother was going to these things that was only like shopping experiences for babies. And I was like, what is there out there for me personally? What is there out there for me professionally? Like, what is there out there for mothers in general on a holistic level? And I looked all around Canada. I couldn't find anything like on a meaningful level. I couldn't find anything that was holistic. I couldn't find anything that I would want right then and there. I needed so much support as a new mom.
Sure.
And I don't know, I guess because of my creative side, I wanted to do a spin on it. And I said, holy cow, we're going to do a mom show. And the Total Mom Show was born. And it was the first ever holistic festival for moms in Canada, where moms would show up and instead of shopping for things, they would meet practitioners, wellness experts.
Oh my God, great idea.
Mental health people, divorce lawyers, like anything. Well, I mean, I know it sounds funny.
It's good.
I really strongly believe that moms need that support system from all areas. And if it's a divorce lawyer they need, then that's what they get.
And you're like massage therapists and chiropractors and healing and just, oh my gosh. So it's all about the mom as the woman and not the mom just for the baby. Because, it goes back to if women, we don't fill our cup and we don't get filled up and take care of ourselves first. I mean, if you're not taking care of yourself and you want to even nurse your baby, you've got to eat healthy. You've got to be healthy because they're getting their nourishment from you. And then that goes, you took it a step further to mental health, to wellness, to all this. What a phenomenal idea. So keep going. What happened after that?
Well, I mean, a lot.
Where did it lead?
We just we rolled out this festival. We got these huge brands on board. We got over 35 speakers. We did a beauty lounge. We had a stage. We had a VIP lounge where mothers can just feed their babies in privacy. They could change their babies. We got Pampers Pure on board. We gave out thousands of dollars worth of products, and every mom went home with $800 worth of stuff in a bag that was useful to them. Diva cups and holistic and natural, better for you products and things like that.
Nice.
And so that year, we had CBC The National come and do an evening documentary on the company and kind of what we were doing. But at that point, I didn't really even realize that we had something special. It was just the start of what Total Mom Inc. is today.
What year was that?
So I started in 2017, and in 2017 I had my baby. Then I got pregnant in 2018, and then in 2019 we had the big major festival. We had over 1,000 moms coming.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah. And then we get to 2020 and everything gets shut down. How did Anna pivot?
Well, we tried to grow and scale quite quickly. I lost my business partner after that festival, we didn't profit, and it was just something that wasn't in alignment with her anymore. So
Okay.
I had to kind of take over and do the whole thing myself. And I, I'm a little bit of a go-getter. So I was like, okay, we'll have one in Toronto, we'll have one in Simcoe County, we'll have a business summit, and we'll do the Total Mom Pitch. And so we had 4 major events planned. And of course, all of them got canceled because of the pandemic,
Right.
which was just really, it was tough. It was tough to do. A lot of our vendors and sponsors and the businesses and companies in our community were going through the same thing. And so
Of course.
my husband, who's a big part of all of the companies, he's like, you need to figure out what you're going to do, because A, you have to tell everybody that you're canceling all of this. B, Eventbrite's not giving us any of the money back because it's being held until the next event. And I found myself in a situation where I not only was a small business myself that was struggling, but I had to call the small businesses to try to retrieve the money from them. And so I thought, you know what, that doesn't align with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to find a way that we can just move that over and not kind of take money back and things like that. And that was when the idea came to me of taking the Total Mom Pitch, but making it go across the nation. And so we just put Canada's in front of it and created Canada's Total Mom Pitch, made it digital, made it accessible to moms all across the country to apply. And that initiative and that program it's massive now.
What do you mean it's digital? How do people get those products and enjoy the experience if they're digital?
So the Total Mom Show was an experiential festival, but the Total Mom Pitch, it's an opportunity for mom entrepreneurs and mom-owned businesses to apply all over Canada for funding and for this kind of get discovered, almost Dragon's Den style competition.
Oh my gosh, Anna. Okay.
Yeah.
You are amazing. So again, this is where the rubber meets the road. This, ladies and gentlemen that are listening and watching, this is what this show is all about, where, you do plan A, and plan A is going really good, but all of a sudden pandemic happens. It's like, well, now what? Do you completely throw the baby out with the bathwater? Do you pivot a little? Do you pivot a lot? And look what you did. Another aha moment. How did you get that aha moment to now say, okay, we just went from live events, experiences, taking home wonderful samples of products to, okay, now pitches, we want to give you money and funding for your business, because that's what the need was right then and there. Yeah. That's an amazing, wonderful pivot. Talk to us about how that happened.
It was just one of those things that, in my heart and in my gut, I just knew that was what we were going to focus on. It was one of our programs already. It was in person, but naturally I knew that if my company didn't pivot digitally, that we were going to get behind, we were going to go down, and we weren't going to be able to drive impact. And I want to help millions of moms all over the world. And so there's nothing that's going to stop me from that. There's just, the pandemic is not going to stop me from that. And so I essentially looked to my team and we said, how can we make this accessible to everyone? How can they still be a part of this? How can we help them? And we just called every single sponsor that was on my dream list, on my wish list. And yeah, I hustled. I got the largest financial institution here. We got Visa on board. Then all of a sudden we got all the nonprofits and organizations, and we got all the women-led organizations and all the big brands and companies behind it. And I just said, listen, we have a huge problem in this country. Moms are having to choose between their careers and staying home with their children. Women and men are in positions where whoever makes more gets to keep the job. The schools were closing. It was just,
same here in America. Same.
We had almost 1 million women lose their jobs in September alone in that first year. Same thing in America. And I just thought, what an incredible opportunity to help the business community and get them access to resources and remove these barriers to entry of growing and scaling a business. And a lot of the women would become an entrepreneur. And I know we often use that term mompreneur, but that's essentially what it is when you become a mom, you rediscover who you are, you rediscover what you want to do in life. And these beautiful ideas and these business concepts come to us.
I love
I
it.
think moms are the best business leaders out there.
They really are. So what have you done? Give us some totals, give us some nuts and bolts of how you've helped these women. Like, how much have you given away? Is it because of the sponsors? And if somebody's listening and thinking, oh my gosh, can I tap into you? Is this still going on now? We just started 2022, if you're listening in replay or later on down the road. So tell us now what people can do now, especially women, to tap into you. If this is where you landed, or is there more to the story?
Oh, there's so much more. Like, so essentially, if you want to apply for Canada's Total Mom Pitch, you just go over to totalmompitch.ca, and applications run until March 31st. And then after that, we have a 2-day business summit happening on May 30th and May 31st, 2022. And that is fantastic. You can be anywhere in the world to come to this business summit.
Oh, that was my next question. Okay,
Oh,
good.
yes.
They don't have to be in Canada.
It is incredible. Yeah, you can come from anywhere. We have tons of people from the US that show up.
Okay.
And we have incredible speakers and experts and influencers and workshops, and giveaways and prizes. And
it's in May, right?
Pardon me?
It's in May?
It's May 30th.
May's a nice time to be in Canada. So good choice. Good choice.
Yes, absolutely. And then in March, we're rolling out the Total Mom Network, which is a professional business membership for entrepreneur moms. We've been building that for 2 years, and that has just been like one of the biggest projects that I have ever worked on. And it's going to be phenomenal. It's essentially a place where moms can get supported personally and professionally with mentors, with coaches, with accountability partners. And on top of that, the actual like programming is for entrepreneurs. So you can take the programs from the very beginning, like Business 101, all the way to growing and scaling, and all the way to like moms and VCs, where you actually get the funding. And you know, women are underfunded. And we know this on a huge level, but Total Mom is kind of bridging that gap between the investors and the funders and moms and their amazing business innovations. And so we merge those together so that they can get what they need from each other and they can support each other. So there are a lot of opportunities to sort of get into our community, ask what you need, get what you need to get, and everybody's welcome. The reason we called it Total Mom is because Total Mom stands for the totality of you as a person. If you are a person that identifies with being a caregiver, and I don't care how you got there as a mom, whether you're adoptive mom or you're a single mom or you're 2 lesbian moms or you're a granny, that is, you know, that is
all good.
Like you are
total mom,
and you are a total mom. And so yeah, it's just such a fantastic community. We're growing, and we are we're very much like those down to earth, like let's support each other kind of people. And
you get results and you have resources too. I love that, because it's not just, you know, fa la la, let's skip down the meadow and everything's all hunky dory. It's like, no, I need funding. I can get that. I need networking. I can get that. I need some good coaches or mentors and things like that. So on the other side of this business, what you're doing, you're helping the mom be the total woman, the total person. But now you're saying you have coaches and experts. Talk to my fans and friends that are listening, and they're coaches, they're experts, they're in that industry. How do you tap into you as, hey, I would love to? Do they donate their services? Do you have an affiliate program? Talk to those business owners.
Yes, absolutely. So if you are watching this and you're listening and you know Aurea, or you love Aurea, then I know you're a good person, because her energy and how she resonates and vibrates with the people around her means you're an amazing person. And I definitely would love to get to know you guys. So yes, there are a bunch of really amazing opportunities. So one is we are rolling out a Total Mom Coach program. So we are going to be certifying individuals to be a Total Mom Coach, where they can actually be a coach in our community through group coaching. Our community is through the network, and you're going to be able to work with some of the most up and coming business owners and mom entrepreneurs that are literally driving impact in their community and growing and scaling companies that are probably going to be the next big thing. So you have this opportunity to support them personally, support them professionally, be a part of the magic of like the breakdowns and the breakthroughs, and being that possibility for them and holding that space. That's so important and key, and we all get something from each other. So if you're interested in that and that sounds like something for you, please reach out to us at totalmom.ca, and we can tell you more about the different various ways you can get involved as a coach and even just work at Total Mom. We are expanding really quickly. If you're like a marketing expert, a digital marketing guru, like this is the time, because we
tap in, people, tap in.
People, yes, we are growing really quickly online and on socials. And
can somebody in America work for somebody in Canada? You
absolutely.
can. Okay.
Yes, we're a global company. We're based in Canada. It's where I live, but we work with people all over the world.
This is so cool, Anna. I just love when I talk to amazing women that have really done this pivot and done it well, and giving everybody that's listening such hope, because so many people have been derailed. Some have been able to pivot a little and it worked because they just needed to just kind of adjust their sail a little bit, and others needed to completely throw everything away with the baby with the bathwater, and they had to start something completely new, and they're making it. So that's why I love to bring you all onto the show, so you can help people earn more, live more, and give back more. So in the last few minutes that we have, what do you want to tell people that are listening and watching about women, mompreneurs, being in business, success? Give us any kind of secrets to success, secrets to doing this pivot now. What really helped you do this successfully?
Honestly, being fearless, like believing in the fact that I was meant to be in every situation that came forth. I think we've talked about this on Clubhouse before, is things happen and you think they're happening to you, but they're not. They're happening for you. And
I love that.
I really strongly believe that. I do, to my core. Like you have to literally grab yourself and be like, it's going to be great. It's going to be okay. This is part of my journey. And that took me a long time. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie and be like, oh, it's all puppies and rainbows. Like, there are a lot of times where I've been crying, or like thinking I'm going to lose it all, or like that the rug is going to come right under me. And this company, although on its like trajectory of success right now, and on its way to making multi-millions by the end of this year, I went for 3.5 years of absolute deficit, like in the minus. And that was hard for me to swallow, because I didn't know if we were going to actually make it. But I was fueled by that fire and that belief that like my purpose and where I was going and what I was doing was the right thing. Like, I deep down inside of all of us, I think we know, like, no, like I'm waking up and I'm doing this shit anyway. Sorry, am I allowed to swear on this?
Sure, why not? Go ahead.
Well, it just happened. And deep down inside, you just know, that you have this passion and fuel for something. And so even though it's going to get tough, and it will, promise you it will.
Oh yeah. Take
those moments of toughness and turn those moments into growth opportunities. Like growth opportunities always. There's no ceiling. It's always going to, like, the bar always gets higher as soon as you
never
arrive. As soon as you got into Forbes. First of all, getting into Forbes was my dream. I didn't think that it was even going to ever happen. Like, I was like, until I manifested it, until I was like, it's happening. I'm getting into Forbes.
Yeah, you were in Forbes. That's amazing.
But like, I got into Forbes, and that to me was like astonishing. But then a week goes by, 2 weeks goes by, 3 weeks goes by, and then you realize like, okay, I got into Forbes. But then you got to keep going, like getting into Forbes or getting an Emmy, like it doesn't stop there, right?
It starts there, really. That's where the journey gets even higher. Now you take that and run with that.
Yeah. And you get tested. Is this for you? Can you handle this? Are you the right person to empower and inspire people? Can you handle the heat? Can you fall down and get back up? Can you be vulnerable? Can you be an inspiration? Can you be authentic? Can you open up your heart and just be you? Because you know what? I would never want to be that kind of person that gets up to something and then isn't real or raw about how hard it is and how hard it always is. This is not easy. Growing this company is not easy.
And I'm so glad you said that, because as we close up, we only got like a minute or two left. It is, I always say this, it's about the journey. We never arrive. We accomplish great things. We get to, check things off our bucket list, whether mine was the Emmy, yours was Forbes. But guess what? Now there's more. How about another Emmy? How about now you're going to get into, Forbes again, or all these other Time Magazine, one month of the year. There's always more to aspire. and helping our friends and clients and reaching back, helping them achieve this is even
Absolutely.
so much more
That's what's
magical and wonderful.
rewarding. That's what the
Mhm.
rewarding thing is that
Take others with
what
us.
yeah, we all get to go there together.
Mhm.
And that's what I love so much about my job. And that's why I think for a long time, like I didn't care if I got paid or paid myself. I reinvested it back into the mission because
Great.
at the end of the day, if I'm surrounded by all of these women that are also happy to and getting their dream, and they're getting to do these things that are impacting and transforming other people's lives, why would I not want that? What am I going to do? Be at the top alone,
I
sit
know, it's
there
so
and
fun to be alone.
look at my Forbes hat all day? No. I want to
Really.
see these other women. I want to see them happy. I want to see their marriages be better. I want to see their companies grow. I want to see their children be proud of them. I want to see them succeed.
Amen.
And
Yes.
that's a big part of my mission.
And the fun part is our kids, as we're all mompreneurs here, they do what we do, not what we say anyway. So we're showing them, entrepreneurship is hard. Any job you do is hard, whether you show
Yeah.
up 9 to 5 or do it, we're crazy people. We leave a 9 to 5 to work 24/7. And they get to see if that's the choice you make, then those are the things you're going to do, because it'll always be like that. Will you get a vacation? Maybe, possibly, but will we still work on vacation? Maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
But when they see we do something we're passionate about, we're always having fun. Even if we're working, we're never working another day in our life, even though we work hard, and they're seeing that. And they'll be the next generation that also works hard. And there's nothing wrong with working hard, good days, bad days, profiting, not profiting, but constantly learning how to take it and scale it. Anna, thank you so much for being here. I do want to do a follow up with you in about another 6 months, maybe 8 months. Come back and see where you are, because these are
Oh my
such
God.
volatile times where people could make it or not make it. And I want to bring on people that are making it the next 6 months into 2022. How are you doing? What's working? What's not working? So we can share with our listeners and our
I
viewers
love that.
insights and expertise. I'm going to put your website up one more time here. It's absolutely
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Totalmom.ca, out of
Yep.
Canada, but works globally. Anna, thank you for sharing your story, your
Thank you.
successes. And I hope it's inspired so many people that you can pivot, you can do this. Thank you, Anna, so much for
Yeah,
what
you guys got this. Just keep going. Don't give up.
Amen. You got this. And tap in. Can't do this alone. Tap in with me, tap in with Anna,
Yes.
totalmom.ca, and you are not alone. We'll help you all up to the top. I am going to be working, doing some fun things with Anna. So you'll get us both.
You should join us on Tuesdays. Tuesday night.
Tuesdays, 8:30.
Clubhouse. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. Clubhouse in the Total
Total
Mom
Mom Business.
Total Mom Business. Then Thursdays, Celebritize Your Business, 8 o'clock Eastern for
Yes.
Celebritize Your Business. We're both there both nights, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tap in. We'll take you to the top with us.
Sounds good, you
job,
guys.
Anna. Love that. All right. Bye from us at Get Celebritized, where you always learn how to earn more so you can live more, so you can give back more and live your best legacy. Hope you have a great night from wherever you are. Share this if you loved it, and check me out on TEDx Talks. Look up Aurea and that 9 minutes that I speak on stage. Hope it inspires you to live your best legacy. We're out for now. Thanks again. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.